What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we are going to be talking about how to honestly just be in the best position possible going into NBA 2K21 and how you guys can have the most success. So if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We upload more NBA 2K20 MyTEAM content than anywhere. Well, we did. And now one thing is for sure, we will be uploading more NBA 2K21 content than anywhere else. So what I'm going to be talking about this video is basically how you guys are going to be in the best position to be successful early in this game, because it's a really, like, I'm saying this right now, I did not figure out how to be really good at 2K20 until April. We didn't figure it out. People did not figure it out. But the thing is that more and more so, especially with the fact that my team and say the Pro-Am community are merging a little bit more. There's a lot more Pro-Am guys coming over to my team, and they're bringing a lot of new stuff into the game mode. We are learning a hell of a lot more about the game. So in this video, I'm going to be talking a lot about how you can put yourself in the best position gameplay wise. I'm not going to necessarily be talking about the team you can pick, because that could be it's going to be an entire video to itself. And again, there's no point in me making like a 1 hour long video which no one's gonna watch, whereas I can make a couple of these and some people to still get the information out before the new game comes out. So first tip that I'm going to give you is practice in the 2K21 demo. Get used. I'm gonna say this now, the defensive AI is very similar. They still jump and pump fakes. Not quite as much, but they still do. So a lot of, in terms of deep hash, is still gonna be in the game. Dribble glitching with the behind the backs is still gonna be in the game. So there's gonna be a lot of the quote cheese from NBA 2K20. It's still gonna be in the game. So you don't need to, like, there's gonna be new cheese, but it's not gonna be the most difficult thing to relearn, because there is a lot of similar animations without question. But one thing is that you've gotta get used to the new dribbling system. The new dribbling controls for 2K21 are completely different to 2K20. And a big thing with that, it means that you don't want to be behind on everybody else. Get used to the dribbling controls. Like, there's a ton of YouTube tutorials out there. You can go search up any of them, and there are so many good dribbling tutorials out there already for 2K21. So I do advise you guys to get used to that in 2KU, as well as that get used to stick shooting, because worst case scenario, button with no meter is the way to go, and you might have to switch to that after a day. But I'm telling you, man, stick shooting I think is going to be the way forward. Stick shooting, especially if you can time with that L2 button. It's a lot easier for me to time with L2 than it is with R2, because that's kind of too much going on with your right hand. Just that using the L2 to lock that shot in makes it so much easier. So the first tip obviously would be to practice in the 2K21 demo. Another thing that I would advise you guys to do is, a lot of you guys want to know the best playbooks, especially early. People don't necessarily know how to guard the playbooks, because like at the end of the year, obviously people found out fairly quickly like how to guard the plays, because, well, people found out the plays for a couple of months. They were winning everything using the plays, and then after a while people figured out how to guard them. So I'm going to link one channel in the description. The channel name is RCA the Great, and he is probably the best, actually, in terms of content creators that focus really around plays and tutorials for MyTEAM specifically. He would be the best. Is he going to really show you guys how to dribble glitch and abuse the game? No, but if you guys want to learn plays, want to learn how to run freelances to their best level, RCA is the person to go to. A channel that I figured I learned way too late about in NBA 2K20. It took me way too long to figure out about this guy. So I think his channel will be in the description. But if you want to learn about plays, he was the guy who discovered Quick True SDS last year. He's the guy that discovers most of the money plays. And between him and probably Mr. Hollywood are the best player runners in the entire world. And I don't think Mr. Hollywood makes, he doesn't make content as far as I know. So if you want to go somewhere for playbooks, RCA is the guy to go to. He is one of the elite comp players in the world, and mainly runs off playbooks. He is without question one of the best players in the world for that. And especially because there is a lot of you guys that want to figure out how to play the game without doing any of the dribble glitching, deep hash, etc. And if you guys want to play the game at a successful level, while I do think that just ways of abusing the defense are still going to be the most effective ways of playing the game, if you guys don't want to do that, don't completely handicap yourself. If you guys learn from the best for learning plays, which RCA is, you're not going to be at that much of a disadvantage if you guys want to play that style of basketball. If you go in blind using plays, you're going to really struggle. However, you guys know what plays to run, what things to hit off the plays. And also a big thing that RCA focuses on, which other people don't, is the fact that you can switch to your players and like basically use your players to make cuts. You can manual where your players cut, which a lot of people don't know is even a thing in the game. So yeah, I think this channel will be in the description. Next tip I would give you guys, and this is kind of this first one is really for the guys that want to be elite at the game. And it's check out the Park and Pro-Am guys for animations. Do I personally believe that Park players are objectively better 2K players than MyTEAM guys? No. Like the Play Now Championship show it, where MyTEAM guys absolutely demolish Park guys at Play Now. It's two completely different game modes, two completely different skill sets. One thing is for sure though, is that the Park guys and the Pro-Am guards, in terms of dribble animations, jump shots, ways of getting open, ways of quick stopping, they are ahead of the MyTEAM guys without question. So basically, I would advise you guys, especially for MyTEAM, to have a look at the Pro-Am guards, especially the ones that will be making the tutorials on YouTube. Things like dribble glitching or tweening. Like Pro-Am guys knew about that months before anyone was doing that in MyTEAM. Base 98, Pro-Am guys knew about that way before we did. These guys are ahead of the curve, so I would definitely advise you guys to have a look at what these guys are doing and base your game on that, especially if you are looking to take your game to the next level. And you might be wondering, so a Pro-Am guy says X animation is the best. How do we find that animation? Good question. There is a website called 2KDB. I will leave a link to that in the description as well. And 2KDB for NBA 2K20 was a savior. Kenny McKay69 made a thread basically for Glenn Rice. It was just about how Glenn Rice's jump shot changed and they gave him wave base. He made a thread on 2K Gamer, and basically what he did was he posted the SIGs, dribble animations and jump shot of like every single new card that's coming into the game, and that changed the way we looked at the game, because we knew if a card was going to be good before the card came out after that thread. And basically 2KDB I assume is going to keep running for next year, so I would advise you guys to bookmark that page, wait for them to put up their cards, and before you decide to buy a card, for example, if you really like say Paul George's jump shot, you can find every player in the game that has the exact same base as Paul George would have. And that's just an example again. Or if, say, there's a certain base that's the best base in the game, you can then find every card in the game with that base. So you can make better decisions based on your preference. And again, for me, I love base 28. So if I was to use a catch and shoot player in 2K20, I would have a base 28 player. And that's why I used to look for a load of base 28 players, hence why I'm higher on certain players than other players. There's a guy like Beasley base and Pro 8, which is why I'm a lot higher than Steven Jackson in 2K20 than most other people. So not everyone's going to enjoy the same animations, but 2KDB lets you find cards with similar animations. If you have a card you really like for a certain reason, whether it's they have a great behind the back or you love their release, you can use the 2KDB site to find guys with similar things to that. And maybe they're better, maybe they're worse cards, but you can find out a lot about the game through that website. So I will leave a link to that in the description. And the last tip for 2K20 MyTEAM, go in with a plan. Go in with a plan of what you are going to do, especially early. Whether you want to go and find out who the budget players are. If you want to test out a bunch of things, if you guys want a lab, if you guys want to try to be the first person to get said reward online, I definitely wouldn't advise playing online for the first day or two, because trust me, you're going to set yourselves back a good bit because the servers aren't going to work. But go in with a plan for what you want to do. If you do want to just play, if you want to play this game to accumulate a bunch of MT, find out ways you can do that. Find out easy ways to do that early. Because the people that find out the ways of getting, let's see, the early ways of anything are the ones that are most successful. If you guys want to become a high competitive level player, You guys got to plan and got to lab. You got to find out what's the best way of shooting. Find out what's the best animations. If you want to be a comp player, you got to lab early. If you want to be the #1 like trader, or you want to accumulate a bunch of MT, find out the easiest way to get a whole lot of MT early. Because if you have a lot of MT early, trading is really, really easy, because a lot of people do a lot of dumb things in the first 2 days of the game. If you guys want to just be a normal MyTEAM player, which 95% of us are, then have fun. That's basically all I'm going to say. Do whatever you find fun. But again, have a plan, know what you want to get out of the game. If you aren't putting in many hours into the game and you're just there having fun, at the same time, there are people that are going to be putting in these hours. So don't expect to be able to go online and beat guys that are sweating out this game. And at the same time, if you are if you do want to sweat the game and be one of the best players around, you're going to need to put in the time, and you're going to need to look at a lot of different things. So yeah, that is pretty much it. That is what I think. Well, that's just a few tips I am going to give you guys to have the most success in MyTEAM. Success definitely is completely subjective in terms of MyTEAM because of the way the game mode is. For some, success might be that they've enjoyed the game. For some, success might be making the greatest no money spent squad. For some, success might be completing domination first, completing the offline grinds first. For others, success might be being a 250k or similar qualifier or being the best player in the world. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
I think you only love me cause I'm poppin'. This a layup, this a rebound, then it's robbing. Tyson with the fade, not the hair.